Hello and welcome to Center Stage. I'm your host, Juhi Desai. In today's segment, we'll take you through glimpses of an annual congressional luncheon in Washington, D.C., hosted by the National Federation of Indian American Associations. The NFIA Congressional Luncheon featured many lawmakers who addressed hot topics previously submitted by the NFIA. This umbrella organization has been sponsoring this event for the past 20 years, so let's see what this year's was all about.
Dear friends, I'm very delighted to welcome you all to this annual Congressional Luncheon and first Women's Conference organized by the NFIA. It is perhaps for the first time in the Obama's administration that the White House is holding this briefing for special ethnic groups. Only once before, a briefing for a Pan-Asian group was held. I want to thank Anish Chopra, the Chief Technology Officer in the administration, for facilitating this event. For the last 30 years since its inception, I have been associated with the NFIA and have seen growing to emerge as the voice of the Indian Americans, striving to resolve the issues impacting their life here in FIA. In FX and currently representing more than 200 Indian community organizations and over 3 million Indian Americans. NFI mission is also to foster the stronger relationship between the India and USA. The two can enhance cooperation on two fronts, economy and terrorism.
It's a pleasure for me to be here with all of you. I see many old and good friends in the audience. I also bring greetings from our new ambassador, Mrs. Nirupama Rao, and she looks forward to meeting and welcoming all of you in the evening at the embassy. It is a matter of pride for us to remain engaged with the NFIA and also its efforts on the Hill. Your efforts have had a very important impact on taking India-US relations forward. You can take pride in the success that has been achieved in the transformation of this relationship, including through your efforts in different areas as well as in the pursuit of the India-US Civil Nuclear Cooperation Agreement. The respect and the credibility that Indian Americans have earned in this country has also helped in transforming perceptions related to India. And as India-US relations have changed, as the Indian economy has evolved, and as we have sustained high levels of growth for many years, perceptions related to India and Indian Americans in this country have also in turn been transformed, and we have all benefited from them. As you know, Indian Americans constitute now among the largest Asian groups in several states. They have one of the highest educational qualifications, are among the top wage earners, and their ranks include eminent scientists and mathematicians, some of whom, of course, went on to become Nobel laureates. The social mobility of the community is also reflected in the diversifying occupational profile. Until a few years ago, the Indian American community could be almost exclusively categorized as professionals. Today, there are many who are making their mark in politics and the administration, and of course, from time to time, in the Congress.
It's a great privilege, it's a pleasure to be with you here today, to be with the FIA, and I've long worked with the FIA over the years. We came in 1992, I came to Congress. 1992, and I can tell you how many members there were of the India caucus that year because there was less than a dozen. We had 11 members. And when I became chairman, we worked to build that up to 150. Now let me say this. We would not have reached that objective if it wasn't for the FIA. We would not have reached that objective, frankly, if it wasn't for the American Association of Physicians from India, if it wasn't for the Federation of Gujarati Associations, if it wasn't for the Asian American Hotel Owners Association, if it wasn't for every one of you here that have done what you have done to get Indians engaged. And if you wonder what the future looks like for younger Indian Americans in this country, I want you to think about two things. I'll tell you a little story here too, because I remember supporting Bobby Jindal back when Bobby was losing, okay? Back when before Bobby was winning, I was supporting him in Louisiana and he was losing. And I remember people asking me, now why are you doing that? You're from California. And I said, because this is the future. If this works, this is the future for the United States. We're talking about Louisiana. Excellent. You know, we're talking about change in the Deep South. The last thing in the United States we really need to change is the attitude of people and their acceptance and their willingness to decide on the basis of merit. And I ask you right now, with Bobby Jindal as a governor and Nikki Haley as a governor in South Carolina, would you say that Americans are starting to make decisions on the basis of merit? I would. I would. And I would say, though, I would also say this. It would not have been done without your engagement, without your involvement. And I want you to think also for a minute about another issue, and that is, when you walk into a university campus and you ask the president of that university who the brightest students are, well, I think we know the answer. Because of this fact. The highest percentage of advanced degrees in the United States go to Indian Americans. So that is something you should be proud of because you're parents in this room. A lot of parents here and some grandparents here. And, you know, actually part of it is the youth also, but part of it is what you have instilled. And part of your civic involvement here is the example you're setting to them, right? You've come to Washington, D.C. in order to advance this cause. Now, I must say there's several different issues that I want to hit on, but I want to do it briefly because many of you heard me speak before, and my staff has warned me, you know, make these points succinctly. So I'm going to do that. But as chairman of the India Caucus, I had an opportunity to meet with Ambassador Shankar as she was leaving, and welcome Ambassador Rao as her first meeting here coming in to Washington, D.C. I want to share with you that I think this relationship is on the right course. As the Prime Minister told me, the relationship ever since the Indian-American Nuclear Energy Framework Agreement, I carried that on the House floor, he said, ever since that achievement, the relationship is irreversible. And I believe that's true. Regardless of political party in India or here in the United States, I think the relationship is irreversible. But I do think there are a lot of things we can do to improve that relationship.
NFIA really appreciate all of you, that you all are a leader in your capacity, wherever you are coming from. And you know, we really appreciate that many of you came from different states to, you know, participate in this event. This event is a really important event for all of us, and especially US-India relationship, and for our you know, children also. If you really think of where the India is going today, it's 1.25 billion people. It's the largest democracy in the world, and you know, it is a role of us to really support India. What can we do? And even here in the USA, we have so many issues that concerning to our community. Now this type of event, you know, give us a time where we can meet congressmen, we hear them, we can even tell him, you know, while he's living, you know, this is the point, you know, where he's living, you can maybe give him something that you have in your mind that can help our community and solve our issue. Because they can come here and tell us whatever we want to hear, but the important part that the people who are sitting here in the audience are very smart. You know, India is a knowledge power today, right? we are all knowledgeable, and the reason we are making the mark in this nation because of our knowledge and the knowledge of our community. So, my friend, I would recommend and suggest all of you, every congressman coming here, you take up one point, and while he is leaving, or by the door, or by the chair, wherever you can get in touch with him, tell him something that is a burning issue of our community, or something that help our nation.
No, it's wonderful to be here. I'm just going back about 1980. 31 years back, we thought we need to organize our community nationwide, and I was a student, a graduate student at Columbia University. So of course I didn't have any commitment of family or the getting into going up in the profession. That was a time when people came, they were all busy trying to make money. So I said, there is an opportunity. We look at the various ethnic group, Irish community, Italian community, the Jewish community, we need to organize. So decided that, let's go and reach out to all the communities around this country, and I took a trip around the nation, various cities, sometimes covering 2 or 3 cities in a day. I remember United Airlines and, Delta Airlines had a deal that you travel any part of the country in their system for 21 days, you can pay for $500. So I did a little Marwadi way of doing, because I used to be in Jaipur. $20 लगता है एक city जाने के लिए, so cover 30 cities. तो हमने पूरा 30 cities cover करके आया. We had a convention in 1980 where we had in the first national convention, National Federation of Indian American Association was formed. And I had the opportunity to be the president for 8 years and the chairman for 4 years. It's a long way. I still kept on working in the community with the GoPO and several other organizations. But I want to tell you that in 1983, Joy came forward with the Indian American Forum for Political Education. We were not actively involved politically. At that time, we were thinking that if some group of people are coming, why not support them fully? The forum took the initiative, the first White House briefing, 1983. And we are going for this White House briefing. That was a historic moment that, we went to the White House, the administration, who we are, we provided the exposure of our community to them. They started noticing us, recognizing us, and since then we have come a long way. We had 1984 again at the Nfia convention in Washington DC, the White House briefing, and it continued. And if you look at the crowd, and I compliment Lal, my friend from New York, who has done an extremely good job for organizing. Last year also brought a lot of people from New York, and this year also. And we are a vibrant community, and our leadership has come forward. People from all over the country have come. And we have to tell our elected officials what we are looking for.
Thank you very much to GoPO. Your organization, the work you do on behalf of India and on behalf of Indian Americans is very, very important. A special thank you to the Connecticut delegation with whom I have built really good relationships. And we talk about things ranging from the IRS penalties on money transfers to the really critical interest that we have as Americans in establishing better trade and better security and more peace and stability in Southeast Asia. I want to say 2 points. One, I become increasingly convinced as this nation looks at our situation in Afghanistan that the solution is working with our allies in India to bring peace and stability to the region. And this community can be really critical in helping policymakers understand where our interests lie and how to go about that very complicated project. Secondly, jobs is what I'm supposed to lead every single thing I say with. I thank and celebrate the Indian American community for the incredible economic vigor that you bring to this country. And you see it on Main Street with small businesses and shops, and you see it walking around Palo Alto looking at who is doing the innovation and creating the next great technology companies in this country.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we're back, we'll take a look at a reception at the Embassy of India featuring Indian Ambassador Nirupamma Rao. Keep it locked to Center Stage.